Welcome to FortiConnection, a career series. I'm Renee Tarun, Deputy CISO at Fortinet, and joining me today to talk about her career in tech and share career advice is Sarah Ryba, a senior network engineer at Liquid Networx. Glad you could join me today, Sarah.
Thanks, Renee. Thanks for having me.
I want to start off by congratulating you on winning the recent Ultimate Fabric Challenge for North America region. That is no easy feat. So can you share a little bit more about your experience with that challenge and what you contribute to your victory?
Yeah, absolutely. So this year will be my second regional competition. I've done smaller competitions in the past, so I have some experience with the UFCs. For anyone that doesn't know, it's basically a capture the flag style competition where you work through different objectives. And of course, they're centered around the Fortinet security fabric and all of the different products. You know, you have to configure them, make them work together, and do so in a timely fashion. So more, faster you do it, the more points you get. So it's really fun. Growing up, being in sports and all, I'm very competitive. So I love getting to do a competition with other people who kind of have the same focuses and same drive that I do. It's very challenging. The tasks range from something, quite simple that, may take a couple minutes to do. And then there's, of course, more in-depth objectives that require different steps that you have to do in order to complete them. So ultimately, I have a great time doing them. And the last one that I did was actually a little bit different. So they broke it out into two different levels. So you had the first part, which was a group competition, and then the first 10 groups went on to the next one, of course, where it was a single participant competition. And then those 10 top people are going to go on to the global one at Accelerate in April. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be really fun. To your second part question, so what I kind of attribute to my win there, I would say a lot of it is experience based. Being at Liquid and being at an MSP, especially, one of those high level Fortinet partners, I see and I deal with Fortinet on a daily basis. And luckily, a lot of the competition are things that I have a lot of experience with. But then there were some things that I've never even seen before. They were, based on the newer FortiOS version. So they were features that I kind of had to adjust on the fly and just wing it, if you will. So I would say that actually was a fun aspect of it, but it was very challenging. And I think the role that I play at Liquid, being a senior network engineer, and the experience I have ultimately helped contribute to my win there.
Is there any training or certifications that you think especially helped you in that challenge?
Absolutely. So I have the NSEs 1 through 7. I actually have 2 7s, and a lot of it was based around FortiManager. So the NSE 5 certifications, that was instrumental in the win for sure. Just, the training in the certification path in combination with the experience I have really helped, drive me to the end there. At Liquid, we do a lot. We don't do everything. There may be some different aspects of a product that I don't touch on a daily basis, just depending on customer requirements. And the training really immerses you as much as it can in all of the different parts of a product. So having the certifications and going through the training and going into the challenge where there's some things that I don't do on a daily basis, where I can think back to my certifications and go, oh, I saw that somewhere, is really helpful. And I think that was also a big aspect of me winning.
Well, that's amazing. You should be very proud because, again, it is no easy feat to get that win. Now, switching to a topic that I'm personally passionate about is being a woman in cybersecurity. It's estimated that only 24% of the cybersecurity workforce is made up of women. As a woman in cybersecurity, you have a very unique and impressive career trajectory. Can you tell us bit more about what attracted you to the field and where did your interest in tech start and how did you end up in your current role?
Absolutely. So when I started in tech, I actually joined Liquid Networx when I was 17 as a NOC tech. And like most 17-year-olds, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I figured I would just work there, go to school, kind of figure out what career path I wanted to take. And the point where I really realized that cyber was going to be the path for me is working in the NOC and hearing just different technical words and different technical procedures, and me having a curious mind going, oh, what is that? And Googling it and trying to figure it out that was very interesting to me. And I decided to get my associate's degree, and I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to try cyber because, cyber's cool, right? It's something new. And I think most importantly to me, it was something challenging that I could do where I knew I would continuously learn, which is just an environment that I thrive in. And most importantly, I knew that I could do something that would be beneficial to me while also being beneficial to, organizations, other people, being able to protect organizations and allow operations to flow. That was also important to me because I wanted to do something impactful at a level that was just bigger than my own personal growth.
Yeah, similarly, I mean, I started in a similar path with you, being a LAN administrator and being on the networking side of the house. And that's where I thought always wanted to be that data plumber that was being able to push the bits and bytes, across the network lines. But again, as a part of career directory, I was given the opportunity to go into the data management side and the relational database side, which I swore when I was going through my college and training, I was like, there's never a chance in the world that I ever want to be a database administrator. Shortly after, I became an Oracle certified database administrator. And it's amazing how, what you think you won't end up doing in your career, you end up doing in your career. But, for me, going on that data side and ensuring that you protected the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of the data was really what started my interest on the cybersecurity side. And so that's kind of what drives my future, positions going into looking at, ways that I can, protect my organization's data, information, and systems. But everyone's journey is definitely different. But like you said, it's always a challenging space to be in. It's always growing, and you definitely won't ever be bored in that field.
Absolutely not. You're right.
So when you talk about there's a lot of opportunities, within cybersecurity, especially as the industry faces that significant skills gap and shortage that we talk about. And organizations are in dire need of skilled professionals with that right knowledge and training like you have. What advice would you give individuals, especially women, who are considering a career in cyber?
Yeah, so it's an interesting question because cyber for me and just information technology in general, it's so broad. There's so many different paths you can go down. And I think that is one of the more challenging aspects of the industry, just because if you don't have the right guidance, you don't have some sort of mentorship or, any sort of prerequisite knowledge on what the end goal is going to be, it can be challenging to navigate that space. And so I think it's really important to, just have a strong drive, pick where you want to go and try to just stay down on that path. Especially in cyber, there's going to be a lot of obstacles. It's a really challenging field. And I think you need to be able to just overcome those, take the failures day by day, because I tell you, I fail on a daily basis. Sometimes most often it's on a small scale, but we have to be able to learn from those failures, get better, overcome them. And part of being able to do that is you need to be brave, and you need to be really curious in this field, because I use it every day. I'm the type of person who I strive to want to be the best. I want to know more. I'm constantly like, what else can I do? What else can I learn? What else can I do to offer to the different organizations that I work for, even my own? How can I make contributions that will, be impactful to everyone around me? And finding that path is key, finding a good support system. And on the more educational level, start with a simple cert. Find something that interests you. There's a lot of lower level certs where you can just kind of get the fundamentals into the field, expand on there. And I think Fortinet's an awesome way to do that. The way they just lay out their training, it really draws you in to, okay, what's next? That's really interesting. So I think certifications, training, a lot of free resources out there is instrumental in, finding your path to start with.
Absolutely. And I think you touched on some things that are very near and dear to my heart, especially that mentoring piece. I think it's very important for everyone in the cyber field, not just women, but to really seek out that mentorship, someone that has some more senior experience and help guide you along that journey. Similar, like you touched on with the education. In our field, if you don't stay updated, you become outdated. And so it's really important that you continue to strive for additional education and awareness, even if it's just reading articles online or trade magazines to understand, what are some of the latest trends that they're seeing. It's really important that, you stay engaged. And I like what you said about, sometimes it takes bravery. I encourage people, a lot of the folks that I mentor, is sometimes you have to go outside your box. Sometimes you have to go outside that comfort zone and take opportunities and challenge that's going to help you grow and give you, different skills, or, help you build different relationships within your organization to really start to look to how you can advance your career.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially the uncomfortability aspect of it. You really can't grow unless you find yourself in a position where you're like, wow, I don't know too much about what I'm doing. That really pushes you to expand outside the reach, think creatively, all important things in this industry. So yeah, I agree with you.
Yep, absolutely. I look back on my career, and sometimes there's, jobs that I took that, I thought there's no way I'd rather wanted to do this. I'd rather live in the woods and eat dirt than do this job. But at the end of the day, I look back at some of those, and some of those were the ones where I learned, some of the day-to-day things that, whether it was for strategic planning or budgeting, or I built relationships that, I've still been able to maintain today. So, even the job, I know it's not something I wanted to do, for the rest of my career, but taking that short stint and the opportunity in that specific job, I was able to grow and learn and make new connections. So
absolutely. 100%.
So Sarah, thank you for taking the time. It's always a pleasure catching up with you. And taking the time to share, your journey with us.
Thank you, Renee. I really appreciate you guys inviting me here today. And yeah.
Absolutely. I look forward to working with you again. For those turning in, we want to encourage anyone considering a career in cyber or existing women cyber professionals to check out the Fortinet Training Institute page on Fortinet.com website. This way you can learn more about training and career development opportunities available to you.